because I don't know what I was expecting, since I did break, her commandment, if you will. I don't know what I was expecting. I just wasn't expecting that. You
I
know.
think that your mom did exactly what she was supposed to do. She held you accountable for your decisions. And she
Look,
wasn't supposed to support your bad decisions. She drew a line in the sand. She stood on that shit. And I think that she was right. Just because you feel traumatized, that's a self-inflicted wound. You did the thing that you wasn't taught to do, and now you had to pay the price for it. Then you got drove over to Planned Parenthood. You wasn't
I
supposed to
guess
be in that
that's.
situation.
I
You
guess.
wasn't supposed to be in that situation in the first place if you did what your mama told you to do.
I guess I when I that's why I mentioned the train thing, because he was talking to her about getting married, and that was before I even got pregnant. And so
But
I
did he get married to you though?
no, we she was telling, or they were talking about making sure we were, taken care of properly. So I was like, okay. I felt a little more secure because they were talking so openly about our future, and I was like, okay.
Mhm.
So I felt like that was her. Maybe that's my miscommunication at observing the conversation. I felt that was her, like,
I think
almost
you know better. I
approval
think you are a
of
very
him.
smart girl. You are very smart. You're very observant. I've seen you on a platform before. You know better. You know that you're not supposed to be in a space to where you even allowing for this to happen in the first place. But you had to pay the price. That's the price that comes along with this disobedience. I don't think that you can put that on him. I don't think that you can put that on her. Listen, if a woman comes over to me, right, and she says, Anton, you can do whatever, you can put it whatever, you can do all of that, right? Is it her fault for me then taking advantage of that and then putting myself in a bad situation as a result of it? Or is it my fault for even entertaining it in the first place? Because my thing is, I think that everybody on an individual level have to take responsibility for their own actions. I'm never gonna blame her for offering it to me. I gotta blame me for taking advantage of it and putting my dick in her. So I'm always gonna take ownership, and I think that we've gotten to the point that now that women can make the decision for themselves, they have to take 100% responsibility for what comes along with their decisions. Nobody forced you. Nobody raped you. Nobody put you in a position. Nobody promised you anything. Nobody married you. So that's all on you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's 100% on you. That's where I stand on it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
I
Anybody
mean,
else?
anybody else can get their own opinion, but I know
Hey, I'm with you.
Carrie probably feels sympathy for you and all of that. So
I don't want sympathy.
Well, no, it's not. I empathize with her because he did do a jacked up thing, but I agree with what you're saying, Anton. I don't think that it was, his fault. So I agree with what you just said. It's unfortunate, but I think that we have started to become conditioned to, if I make a decision, and I'm not saying this is you, Jessica, because it sounds like you're starting to kind of own your role or whatever. But I think that what's happening more and more nowadays is like you make a decision, as a result, you're hurt, your feelings are hurt, and now you feel like it shouldn't have happened or you shouldn't have to deal with the result of said decision. And that's just, or the other person is at fault. But
I don't understand what you're saying, Carrie.
what I'm
I
saying,
think I've been paying for it. I'm always going to be paying for
so
So
go
are
ahead.
we saying that men that have sex with women unprotected and the woman gets pregnant, it's only the woman's fault?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Yes.
So if that was the case, why do we have these laws like child support? If it's only the
Because
woman's
you got
fault,
goofy motherfuckers
I don't
paying
agree
for
with
this
why
that.
do we have
Because you
child
have to
support?
understand, Q. You have to understand, Q. He doesn't have the ability to, once she gets pregnant, he doesn't have the ability to determine whether or not she could do whatever it is she want to do with her body.
exactly.
Okay.
He has no control, right?
it.
So if
No, but he did.
100% of the, but if 100% of the, now I'm not telling guys to go out and get a chick pregnant, because here's the thing about it that y'all not taking into consideration. He has no control over what she's going to do with with her body,
Mm-hmm.
but he's going to be 100% responsible for whatever decision that she makes. meaning that society by default is going to hold men accountable no matter what we think. Our fate is in your hands once you decide whatever it is that you're going to do or whatever it is that happens. Society by default is going to hold us accountable. We have no safety net. We have no protection. If we don't pay child support,
At all.
we go to jail.
Well, no, your
Well, I
safety,
think-
your safety
Hold on,
net,
hold on,
your
hold on,
safety
hold on.
net's protection.
Hold
or
on,
not
wait.
having protection at all.
I think he
Hold
took
on.
control of the
Let me finish.
situation by dragging me
Let me
into
finish.
jailhood. So
Let me finish. The other side of the equation is when you have 100% control and power of what happens, you then own 100% of the responsibility that comes along with it also. Right? Yes, you do.
I
Yes,
don't
you
agree
do.
with that.
And so here's the thing. I don't know when y'all gonna start holding each other accountable instead of trying to pass the blame. The minute that y'all start holding each other accountable is the minute that y'all start getting different results. The problem is that because y'all don't hold each other accountable and because y'all trying to pass the blame. See, when guys come up to me or when they jump on the show, they did it just yesterday or what was it, Friday, and the guy said Anton, A, B, C, and D. We hold each other accountable. We don't blame the woman. We don't say, oh man, it's her fault. We just go 100% based off of, oh, you did this. No, you own that shit. You got to take care of it. Don't fuck up your family and all of that other type of stuff. When we have a conversation with women, by default, they're always trying to pass the blame. You can solve for it by just not allowing yourself to open up your legs to people that you're not supposed to be with in the first place. You solve for the problem.
Overnight.
I don't really know what a disagreement is.
Like
Well,
I was just gonna say, like a great uncle once said, with great power comes great responsibility. That's good old Uncle Ben. Um, Women have the power, everybody their choice. They have the power to not even have the baby conceived. So with great power comes great responsibility. Yet they want power, but don't want the responsibility that comes with said power. We are our first line of defense. Yes, men should do this, men should do that, men should do this. But the thing is, you can't control what that man can do. What you can control is what you do. You can control with who you let in your body, how you let them in your body, and when you let in your body. You only can control what you have power over, and you have power over yourself. But women want to have power over men. Yes, it's sorry men out there, but guess what? You have the power to not even let them in your life, nor less into your womb. And you are your own line of defense. We all know how baby made. I'm gonna wrap this up real quick by saying women like to talk about this intuition they have. They like to say they're smarter than men, that men are simple, men are basic, and all that. So if all that is true and y'all had this great intuition, why y'all keep getting knocked up by dudes that read on the 7th grade level? It makes no logical sense. So how do you constantly get tricked by these people that you smarter than, and that you better than, and that you wiser than, and that you have intuition? How do you keep getting tricked by these simpletons that y'all call us? It makes no logical sense. My kids can't trick me. My 8-year-old daughter can't pull the wool over my eyes. She can't deceive me, like not in that kind of way, not intellectually. So what's going on here? In this intuition, this power, why it goes away when it comes to getting knocked up by a loser?
but like I'm not even putting. I know y'all are talking in general, but I was truly, yes, I shouldn't. I 100% shouldn't have. I should have gotten married first. But before this happened, I would have told any girl who dated him that he was husband material, that he was a good man. So I don't know why. Well, I guess I'm just attributing it to me. Like in my eyes, up until he was no loser. He was a good man with a good job, good credit, a good family. Like I don't know. So he wasn't like a loser at that. So that's where I'm kind of confused. You know. So are you saying, what are you saying?
Should have waited to marry him, basically, is what he's saying.
Yeah, if he was a husband, he should have married you first. But to Anton's standpoint, why women don't hold women accountable? For 2 years, I've been saying this. I don't hold women accountable for what? They don't listen. I'm not here
Yeah,
to
but
be a
Carrie feel
teacher.
differently. Carrie Carrie don't agree with this right now.
Women don't listen.
I don't
Women don't
agree
listen to
with your
women.
whole thing. I agree with the first part that
I thought you said the whole thing.
No, I'm saying I didn't agree with the whole thing that Anton said. Because remember, this started with are men robbing women of baby making years? And I said I don't really understand how a man could rob women of baby making years. And Jessica, it sounded like you said you disagreed. So then you gave your example. And then when Anton responded, I'm saying I agree. What happened with her to me does not equal that man robbing her of baby making years. That what happened was the result of her making a decision to sleep with him unprotected, and that's what happened. I also don't agree with though that like this whole thing of who is 100% at fault if the woman gets pregnant. I don't understand that whole
It's like 50, it's
concept.
like 1585.
Like I don't understand how there's no ownership for the man as well, because
15%.
just like they didn't say 15%, Quentin. They said it's 100% the woman. We have 100% of the power, and we're expecting them to take 100% of the responsibility. And I don't agree with any of that.
You don't have 100% of the power over who you have sex with.
Although you can't come into us without force, without us letting you, we can't utilize your tool if it's not ready and if you don't insert it. So you have just as much responsibility in the baby making process as the woman does. So
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Carrie.
If you know that once the woman gets pregnant, that she then gets all of this power from a government standpoint, then you should be making smarter decisions with where you place said tool.
Correct.
So hold on, wait. Let me ask you a question.
As well.
Let me ask you a question. If your dog bites somebody else, is it the dog's responsibility or is it the owner's responsibility?
It's the owner.
Why is it the dog placed? Why isn't responsibility placed on the dog's shoulders?
The dog getting beat up.
Because you can't hold a dog account. Is that me breaking up?
No, you good. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Because you can't. A dog does not qualify as a human being for you to hold accountable in a court of law. Like you're an animal. I can't. You know what I'm saying? I have to take ownership for what I own. I own the dog. He's my pet. So
I got you. But the dog is still put down though, right?
Well, I mean, I guess in a lot of circumstances it might be the case, but there are circumstances where it's not. But for all intents and purposes, okay, yes, they'll put the dog down.
The dog by default, regardless of whether or not it's his fault, he's still held responsible because he's the one that's going to be put down. Even though he doesn't have the ability to be able to raise himself, to determine whatever, so on and so forth, he's still going to be held accountable regardless of whether or not we see him in the same way as a human being, right?
Okay.
Yes. And the owner. And the owner will be accountable. I could sue the owner also.
Interesting. Okay, but the dog is the one that loses his life though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. As he should. I like that, Q. Interesting. Okay, so let me ask you another question. I'm gonna bring
Dogs are
if women think that they're really shared responsibility, then how come they don't update family court laws? How can they advocate for women empowerment, but they advocate against updating family court laws?